Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nazareth with Arshia, and today I decided that I would do a little video on Intel and its related chip shortage and why I still think this is a good buy. I know you're like, what? So anyway, before we begin, I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor and you should always do your own due diligence and research before taking part in any investment scheme. And let's get started. So first, let's go over the chip shortage real quick. So as you all know, the COVID has led to a $60 billion global chip shortage for the auto industry. So automakers are expected to lose billions of dollars in earnings this year due to a shortage of highly important semiconductor chips. Consulting firm Alix Partners expect that the shortage will cut $60.6 billion in revenue from the global automotive industry this year. Semiconductor chips are used in new vehicles for areas including infotainment systems, power steering, and brakes. Automakers across the globe expect to lose billions of dollars in earnings. All the way up and down the supply chain, everybody's out for some portion of money. According to Dan Hirsch, a managing director in the New York-based firm Automotive and Industrial Practice. So as you all know, recently Intel hasn't been doing so hot lately. They've been slacking behind on production, on CPUs, on basically everything, and now everybody hates Intel. Intel's graph also just looks overall sad. And now everybody likes AMD and NVIDIA, so as you can see, NVIDIA just looks happy, very happy. Just the graph, although just looks happy. And AMD, same thing with AMD. And I want to talk about the PE ratio. So the PE ratio of Intel compared to NVIDIA and AMD, it's actually quite different. So PE ratio for this guy here, Intel, is 12.51. And that could either mean compared to NVIDIA with 88.36 and AMD with 35.93, that this little guy here is undervalued, or they aren't really paying attention. Like, it's undervalued, they don't pay attention, but people are expecting more from NVIDIA and AMD rather than Intel. And this also means that, like, if you look at the price too, the price differences are really, really vast. So if you look at the price difference, people are betting their money on it, that NVIDIA is going to do better than Intel. I feel that Intel is going to do as good, and here's why. So despite having their like supply chain issues and all of that good stuff, good or not good, they are still number one in Q1 2021 top 15 semiconductor sales. Right here, Intel, number one. Headquarters, US. And this is including foundries. So before I move on to anything else, move on to explaining the entire chart here, I'm going to just show you this. So these are the four processes of making semiconductors. And I have a great article explaining those, but hang on. Hold your horses. So first is fabless, meaning manufacturing less. You don't have to manufacture anything, which I'll explain a little bit later. And there's foundry, then there's IDM, and there's OSAT. So let's read on this beautiful Wikipedia article. And I know you're like, beautiful? Then you're gonna be like, oh wait, we're gonna click off this video. Listen to me. Hang on. Okay, so first is OSATs. The term OSATs means outsourced semiconductor assembly and test providers. OSATs have dominated IC packaging and testing. So basically what OSAT companies do is they test the semiconductor chips for any flaws and then pack them up and ship them to wherever they need. So fabless operations, the term fabless, fabricationless, foundry, and IDM are not used to describe the role a company has in business relationship. So, for example, Freescale owns and operates fabrication facilities where it manufactures many chip product lines as a traditional IDM would. Yet it is known to contract with merchant foundries for other products as would fabless companies. So basically, they produce chips for other companies that put their chips inside their devices. They don't make their own chips. So though some companies don't make their own chips, so they receive them from companies like Intel, Nvidia, AMD. You get my point. So let's go back to this chart here. So number 2 is Samsung. Number 3 is TSMC. It's like a Taiwanese company. Number 4 is SK Hynix. That's from South Korea. And Micron secures the number 5 spot. And the only company that is in negative is Intel, but this just goes to show that despite their negative, they're struggling a little, but they're still number 1. And that's one of the reasons why I feel it'll keep going. It can't just stop there. And also, President Biden is working to fix chip shortage, and Intel promises help for automakers. So Intel is involved in this. So during the Biden plan meeting, he said that he had plans to invest $50 billion in semiconductor manufacturing and research. And that is pretty big. Semiconductors. So next it says Intel Chief Executive Pat Gelsinger, who attended that meeting virtually, told Reuters that the company wanted to start producing chips at its factories within 6 to 9 months to address the shortage, which has idled assembly lines at some U.S. automotive plants. So I really think that this could give Intel a major boost, and the boost that it's been needing. And that's another one of the reasons why I feel Intel is going to be successful. Also, Intel's self-driving car unit plans to step up use of its own radar tech by 2025. So they're developing their new LiDAR sensor. So the head of Intel Corp's self-driving car subsidiary said on Tuesday the company wants to shift towards using its own radar-based technology and use a single LiDAR sensor per vehicle by 2025 in a bid to lower the cost of autonomous driving. So they are really trying very hard to produce new products, boost their sales, and it's really an improvement since the last time, since like the recent history. And I pulled this PE ratio up to show you guys again. Don't just believe me, don't believe what I'm saying. You can believe this Investopedia article. It's one of the widely used metrics, and it's how a stock's valuation compares to its industry group or benchmark. So a higher PE ratio shows that investors are willing to pay a higher share price today because of the growth expectations in the future. And they also use it to determine future earnings growth. So I based those facts upon how these PE ratios compare. So Nvidia and AMD, investors like that better. They think that will do better, so they're willing to pay a higher price. And that's the reason why I pulled this article up. So Intel semiconductor supply issues. This is the one risk that it has with investing in Intel. And you can see like Intel chip shortages everywhere, like from May 30th, 2021 to June 1st, 2021, you will find semiconductor issues articles everywhere. So Reuters says that Intel reiterates chip supply shortage could last several years. And here's the thing. Intel's Corp CEO said on Monday, so he said this himself, that it could take several years for a global shortage of semiconductors to be resolved. And not only that, but also Intel semiconductor supply chain could last years. This is even on supply chain. like that tracks supply chains and everything. Chief Gelsinger himself slash herself, I'm not sure who that is, like the gender wise, but chip scarcity has affected dozens of the global economy's biggest industries. And she slash he said it could take years for it to resolve. And that's the one risk that we have to be careful of, at least like I feel that I have to be careful of when investing, is that this chip shortage could lead to some problems. And thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it till the end, thank you so much. And please comment Powerpuff if you made it till the end. That way I know you watched the video. And so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this information helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. So see you in the next video.